All right, we'll get started here in just a second. Looks like I got the camera situated finally. All right, so a little background for what I did was I dug this out probably 8 or 9 months ago and prepped it for Woodland Scenics water. There's two different versions of the Woodland Scenics water. One, you mix it like an epoxy, and the one that I use is called Realistic water, and it's all pre-mixed, and it comes in a looks like an alcohol container. So I use 3 of these to fill this area that is roughly 6 inches wide, and then down here is about 8 inches wide. It's probably 30 inches long. It's a pretty good sized seam. The reason I made it so big was I wanted to be able to have locomotives or trains on this track here and get the reflection in the water, and it worked out quite well. Looked really good for a while. When I dug all this out, of course it's a 2-inch green foam. I dug it out, I painted it brown, and I used dirt from my backyard to fill the hole, like the angles on the side, angle the banks and on the ends and stuff like that. And I also put a coat on the bottom and kind of leveled it a little bit. I then took Woodland Scenics spray adhesive, just the standard Woodland Scenics spray glue, I guess, I don't know, and coated it all, and it soaked in because there's probably about an inch of dirt in a couple of places. So it soaked in and soaked in and soaked in, and I continually applied Woodland Scenic cement for about 4 or 5 days. I did it for a while and got it saturated and so that it was soaking all the way. After a couple of months, I went through and used a spray lacquer to seal it, and I thought it worked out pretty well. When I poured the water in here, the Realistic water, it looked great. It looked great for probably the last 6 months, and then about 3 weeks ago, when the weather warmed up outside, of course it warmed up back here in my train room, and I don't have any air conditioner heat back here, and somehow the heat, which it's only got to about maybe 80 in this room. Oh, okay, we're back now. You missed everything I said because the damn thing cut off on me. So, I guess I'll just start over. Shit. So I'm getting frustrated already. So needless to say, I carved all this out. I painted it with this brown looking mud paint. I used dirt to fill in on the bottom, all the gaps, the cuts. Contoured the sides, sprayed it with Woodland Scenic cement, and then after it dried for a couple of days, I sprayed it with a spray lacquer to seal it. Use the Realistic water, 3 bottles to level it all out. It's all self-leveling. Put that on there, and then it looked great for a few months, and then it got hot outside by 80 degrees in my train room, and then it released all these air bubbles underneath and ruined my work. So I'll show you the air bubbles. You can see it looks horrible, and some of them I've messed with. I've pushed them down, and they look even worse. But some of it looks pretty decent. But I am a perfectionist, and I hate anything that doesn't look very good. So this looks horrible. And this used to be my favorite shot, was to have a train come down this track near the wall and get the reflection in the water, and I can't do that. So, and I had a couple of people that said they thought it looked like rocks in there, and I could just cut the bubbles out and put in rocks. And once again, I'm a perfectionist. I wanted the scene so I could do like company photos, you know, with the passenger train reflecting off the water and all that stuff. So what I'm gonna start doing here, I'm gonna start taking stuff out. I got some reeds. I think they're JTT reeds. I'm gonna start plucking them out. I got some grass over here, like I think they were JTT as well. I got them at Hobby Lobby. But basically, they're just like little grass mats you glue in place. So I'm going to try to recycle as much of the scenery as I can. And then I'm going to take a hobby knife. I got this one at Walmart, I think. And this adjustable blade. And I really like these knives. I got 2 or 3 of them that I like to use on the foam. I can, you know, get all the way in. So what I'm going to try to do is get my knife all the way down to the bottom, go through the 2 inches of foam, and basically just take it down the wood, and then I'm going to use Sculpt-A-Mold, and then build it up, build the sides up, Sculpt-A-Mold it, seal it real good, and then I'll pour the realistic water here in a couple of weeks. I'll make another video for that. So tonight, all I'm going to do is just start, you know, taking stuff out. I'm going to try to cut this out and recontour my banks on both sides, and see what I can do. So either it's going to turn out pretty decent or it's going to turn out like crap. So stay with me for a little bit. I'm doing this on my phone, so I can't really see if anybody makes any comments. But if you do make a comment, I'll answer it, you know, tomorrow or as soon as I can, maybe even tonight. So I'll go ahead and start taking this stuff apart. I only use white glue, so I'm sure it's just popped right off. Yeah, looks pretty good. Oh no, these might be a little tougher. Oh, I don't think those are going to work. Some of this stuff where the realistic water flowed on top, so it's basically kind of like stuck on there, so those are probably not going to be able to be reused. But some of these might not be too bad. I've been having trouble finding these cattails too, so I don't think I'll be able to get any more. Oh, not bad. It would be nice if I could cut all this out and lift it straight out, and then I might be able to recycle some of my rocks, but I got plenty of those, so I'm not too worried about it. What I'll end up doing is taking this live video and I'll edit it down into shorter clips, because I want to get this done in about half an hour. I'm not going to keep talking for an hour like I did on my decal video. But I'll make this short, then I'll start making short videos, and I'll post photos in my video of my progress when I was cutting it out and working on it and everything. And it's really kind of heartbreaking when something like this happens, because I was really happy with the scene, the way the water turned out. Took a couple of photos that was used by a couple of Facebook groups as their background photo, and really just pleased with the results. So this is sad to say the least. But I can honestly say, of all the stuff that I've done, I haven't had to redo anything like this before. So I mean, there's first time for everything. It is what it is. I'm sure there's people out there who's been modeling longer than me that has, you know, done something similar, or, you know, done some extra work to make it seem better, but and then totally ripped it out and started from scratch. I used to have a scene over here that was an old AHM like freight house, and I wanted to use a Walthurst brick RPO, or not RPO, but Railway Express agency building, and I found one that was already put together and it looked pretty decent, and I bought it, and it totally overwhelmed my scene. So I went through and changed the scene for a second time because that building wasn't going to work, and that was my plan all along. So that's the worst of it, I guess. Some of these are coming out. But the fun part's going to be when I start cutting, because who knows what that knife's going to do. I even used some grass roots over here to kind of mimic tree roots. I thought that was kind of cool. But we'll see what happens next time. Got plenty of yard to get grass roots. I can do that again. Look at that. Well, that's working out pretty good. Cattail came off, but the rest of it didn't come off. That's funny. Gonna happen again. Alright, I'm not gonna worry about those. Alright, time for the knife. Let me see if I can get this off. No, ain't gonna worry about it. So this little piece right here is a piece of grass matting that I found. I think it was Walther's. I don't know. So we'll leave that in place and just cut around and see what we can do. Good thing about these knives is the blade is flexible, so once you start making cuts, it'll kind of bend and stay in the groove that you just cut. So not too bad. Kind of want to keep the same shape. Oh, that didn't work. Damn it. So I was in the Army a long time, so you might hear some colorful language. You're about to hear something here in just a second. This thing does this one more time. They say in North Carolina, one more again. I have to go find my backup. Damn it. I guess maybe, good thing I removed all the trees that was around here and the scenery that was, you know, right here in this area. So I figured if I tried to leave it too close, I'd be busting some stuff up. Come on, flexible blade, I just talked about you. Flex. It's about to get on my nerves. I got this at Walmart. I should, you know, you get what you pay for. Walmart trash. First time I ever use that. I just have to recycle the blade because I'm not gonna mess with that thing no more. That's aggravating. Got this in a Hobby Lobby. It's metal. It's all made in China. Don't matter. So my layout is about 54 inches tall, and it's 2 feet deep at this point. I'm 5'9", so I'm standing on a stool to reach back here. In retrospect, I probably should have made it a little bit lower. See if I can cut this. Now this isn't real rock. This is Woodland Scenic, whatever they call it, riprap. It is walnut shells, ground up and dyed. So I should be able to cut through it, I would think. Yeah, stuff's pretty hard right there, so if the knife don't go through it, have the air bubbles come through it. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Well, I'm getting hot. You're not supposed to sweat when you work on trains. It's supposed to be fun. So my friend Dwight, I think he's watching. He has a couple of Facebook pages. One is the Milwaukee Road something something something. I think it's the Modern Milwaukee Road, and the other one is the Modern Chicago Burlington Quincy. And he does a lot of good stuff. So if you see this and you like the two railroads, search them out. He's got a great mindset for operations. He's a retired train master. And got a lot of knowledge. Got a lot of knowledge. What the hell? Boy, this is something. Air bubbles come up, but the knife won't go through. That's just what it's going to have to be. I see the layout moving over here, so I think the glue has lost its adhesion over here. I may have to do a little work. I built this part of the layout, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. So I've never had a layout before until now. Well, no, I take that back. I had one, I just didn't have any scenery. Well, I guess I had two, but just no scenery. But this one I tried to build right. And we'll see. If you go back and watch my videos, you can see where I showed this part in this room. I don't really show the other part too much because there's not any scenery out there. But it's a pretty good sized layout. Got about 4 miles of main line. And usually run my trains about 30 to 40 mile an hour. Passenger trains maybe 50. When I worked for the railroad, we rarely went above 45. Even at one point when we could do 60 with a freight train, given the consist of cars. We had certain cars we couldn't, but for the most part we could do 60. And we only did it in one place, and that was between Thomasville and Lexington, North Carolina. There's a place called Lake. Otherwise, we rarely went that fast. This might work out a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. There's still dry dirt down in there. So evidently, that was part of it. So you can see how deep I went with this. It was pretty deep. So I'll show you this part. So this is like roughly 2 inches. So but you can even see how thick the realistic water is. This basically a brown layer above there, so it's maybe a 1/4 inch thick. So I didn't see anything when I was working on it when it talked about depth or anything like that, but I was really hoping to be able to get it out like this. That works out pretty good. It looks like some, what that is, looks like liquid nails. So been on here about 26 minutes now. I will spare you all the rest of this because it's going to take me probably 2 hours to do this, maybe a little bit longer. So what I'll do is I'll take some pictures as I go along. I'll edit another video and just kind of show some pictures and do a talk over or a voiceover, whatever you want to call it, and we'll figure this part here out. So hey, thank you all for watching. I think we only have maybe 3 people, maybe 4 at one time, But I appreciate everybody. And whoever's watching this video that I edit later on down the road, if you got any recommendations or comments, please list them or please type them in, and then I'll get back with you. So thank you very much. Y'all have a good night.